How's it going, Guardians? It is your boy Turkey here at SGN Hub, bringing you another weapon review, and this one's going to be more so a question posed to you guys in the community and the people viewing this video because, truth be told, I'm not exactly a sniper expert, but when I got the role that I got, it kind of intrigued me to go look at the potential roles on this weapon a little bit more. And the weapon we're talking about, of course, today is going to be the sniper that was just recently introduced, and that is the Sovereignty. The Sovereignty is an adaptive frame sniper rifle, and it is a void sniper rifle. So obviously we're going to have that in our secondary slot and our energy slot, and it doesn't have a bajillion different, I think, perk combinations, but the thing that I found interesting is it does actually have, in essence, two damage perks, so one in each slot. And I was lucky enough to get the role that did have them, but not exactly the mag. So without further ado, I'd like to talk more about the weapon and maybe get you guys' opinions on whether or not this is worth farming to get the extra rounds in the magazine, and I'll explain why as the video goes on. So the role that I got was explosive payload and precision instrument. Now, before I talk about why I found that interesting, we'll talk about the other roles in the first column and the second column, and I feel like there is one or two that are also debatable that you would like to have as well over precision. So in the first slot, we obviously have explosive payload in the first slot, which splits off 50% of the weapon's body shot damage into an explosive payload that deals 30% increased damage in PvE, and this is not affected by damage fall off. So you get to correct some of that damage fall off, and you get a little bit of extra damage as well. Very simple, and you get some AoE as well. Next up, we have Discord, which is also a very popular one among snipers simply because the ammo economy that it allows, giving you that shot back on elim. Next up, we have Dragonfly. Precision kills create elemental damage explosion. Obviously, this would be void. Next up, we have Enlightened Action. Dealing damage improves reload speed and handling. Weapon hits grant stacks of Enlightened Action for 2 seconds with a maximum of 12. So this might be something that pairs well with Precision Instrument if you're not able to get explosive payload. That very well may not be the best role for the first slot, but I just found it interesting myself. Next up, we have No Distractions. Aiming this weapon for a short period reduces flinch. Truth be told, this sniper actually felt really good to me in PvE. I don't know if this is a PvP sniper. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I typically do equip a sniper in my special slot if I'm rocking something on my hunter like Malfeasance or Warden's Law with the Lucky Pants. And I feel like this could potentially serve that role if it does put out the damage that I'm looking for. And I feel like it does, and it feels pretty good as well. Next up, we have Demolitionist. Kills with this weapon generate grenade energy. Activating your grenade ability reloads this weapon from reserves. Very simple perk. We all know what Demo does, but it's not necessarily what I look for in a sniper rifle. And lastly, we have Steady Hands. Kills provide improved handling for all weapons for a short duration, and that's really all we're going to have in the first column. Like I said, I personally feel like the ones that, if anything, you'd want to snag are probably Explosive Payload or Discord or Enlightened Action, but I really was happy to get Explosive Payload. In the second slot, we have Harmony. Final blows with other weapons improves this weapon's damage for a short duration. Next up, we have Desperate Measures. Weapon final blows grant bonus damage. Melee and grenade final blows grant a larger damage bonus. Now, this is something that I guess you could look into, but something about the synergy between getting melee, kills and then having it increase your sniper rifle damage. I don't know. I just feel like Desperate Measures could use a little bit of work, and it's just not really my cup of tea when it comes to damage perks. And honestly, even the one that I got may not be because I'm kind of a terrible sniper. But next up, we have Precision Instrument, which is the role that I did get. Dealing sustained damage increases precision damage. Direct weapon hits grant a stack of Precision Instrument for 1.25 seconds and 2.15 weapons withdraw/charge time, i.e. like bows or something along those lines, or linears. Maximum stack of 6, and missing removes all the stacks. So the first increase is 4.17%, then 8.3 to 12.5 to 16.6 to 20.8, and then 25. Now the 25 is pretty solid once you get there, but the only problem I think that this weapon poses is you have a maximum of 6 stacks, and the maximum magazine capacity you're looking at roughly, I think, 7. But we do have an origin trait on it, which is the Dark Ether Reaper. Whenever you kill an enemy or you slay any type of enemy, or I guess, it doesn't really matter, it spawns the purple orb that you can either interact with, melee, walk through, that will refill it. Now, it doesn't, I believe, say that it overflows it, but I have a magazine capacity of 5 currently on mine, and whenever I do destroy those, it refills 2 extra shots into the magazine. So that would actually make it more capable of shooting those all 7 shots and then getting the maximum 6 shots out of Precision Instrument. Personally, I think that's the downside of it, is that it is an adaptive frame sniper, but the mag size doesn't really allow it to comfortably take advantage of Precision Instrument. But if you were to get the appended mag with the extended mag, you would actually have the 7 by default, and then once you shot the orbs that this produces, theoretically, I believe you might have 9 or 10. I'm not sure if it overflows from a scaling ratio, but I don't even know if it will overflow or if 7's the limit. But that's enough for the precision instrument talk. And next up, we have Withering Gaze. Aiming this weapon for a short period of time without firing grants the ability to weaken the target. Timer resets after firing or when you stop aiming down sights. Now, I found this interesting as well, and this is one of the 3 that I felt could be decent, simply because you have explosive payload in the second slot. So I assume that if you shot an area and you were to cause splash damage, it very well may weaken all the enemies. So that's another role that I think we could definitely be looking out for, or may just simply be better. Next up, we have Boxed Breathing and also Adrenaline Junkie. I guess prior to getting to Adrenaline Junkie, we'll talk about Boxed Breathing for those who don't know. But all it is aiming down sights for 1.5 seconds without firing will provide some increase to your headshot multiplier. So you just get some extra damage for, hitting those crits. Next up, Adrenaline Junkie, increased damage and handling from final blows with grenades or this weapon. I don't really feel like that's necessarily going to be sought after, but the final perk is probably the one I think a lot of people will settle for, and that's going to be Firing Line, given the fact that you are going to be using this in a fire team. Like I said, the one that I have is Explosive Payload and Precision Instrument, but I feel like Firing Line is going to serve that role a little bit more just because you have an instant 20% rather than having to hit the 5 shots for something like Precision Instrument just to get that extra buff 25 on the 6th shot. So I feel like Firing Line is going to be the one that most people are going to fall on. But I unfortunately did get Precision Instrument and I suck at sniping, so I can't just take the advantage of the flat 20. What do you guys think about the sniper rifle and its addition to the game? I'm honestly a big fan of the Dark Ether Reaper trait, and I think it's pretty cool on snipers, so you can kind of, just refill and take shots from far away, or you can just run through the orbs. I'm not sure how often I'll be using it, but I may find a way to include it in a DPS setup, like I said, with Warden's Law. If you guys got the roll with the 7 rounds in the mag, let me know how that works with Precision Instrument and Explosive Payload, or if you find it superior to others. I don't really feel like there's much for me to say about this because I don't have a crazy opinion on snipers or too much experience with them, but if you guys have a solidified opinion on this, please let me know. It's been your boy Turk here at SGN. Peace.